July 18th, 1984. Officers rush into a McDonald's in San Ysidro, California, walking past many half-eaten meals, later finding a 9mm Uzi carbine, and several lifeless bodies scattered around the restaurant. All these victims just wanted to enjoy some McDonald's, not knowing that it would be their last meal alive. Now, police officers recall the event being ominous and grisly. They are witnessing the aftermath of one of the most deadliest shootings in US history, the McDonald's Massacre. James Huberty was born in Canton, Ohio, 1942, and was raised in a very religious family. However, when he's just 3 years old, he's diagnosed with polio, forcing him to wear metal braces on his legs. However, once he's finally taken them off, he's stuck with a permanent limp. Sadly, when he's just 8 years old, James's mother decides to abandon him, which obviously takes a huge toll on the boy's mental health. Due to his antisocial nature and his limp, he often gets bullied at school and never has any friends. He later develops an interest in guns, where he mostly does target practice in his backyard. In 1960, James graduates high school and later enrolls in a community college, where he quickly drops out due to him meeting his future wife, Etna. In 1965, the two get married and have 2 daughters, Cassandra and Zelia. Unfortunately, the family's house burns down, and they're forced to move to Canton, Ohio, the same exact place where James grew up in. Now, James later finds a job as a welder, and just when things started to look good for the family, James slowly started to change. He goes on to abuse his wife and daughters, usually beating them for no apparent reason due to his unstable behavior. Later, his wife found out that she can restrain her husband's temper through the use of tarot cards, claiming that she can see his future, and due to this, James actually believes her and takes her advice. Unfortunately, his behavior takes a turn for the worse, and even his neighbors take notice. They label him as a paranoid person and has an unhealthy obsession with guns. James believes that he's a self-survivalist, basically stating that the US government is watching his every move, forcing him to stockpile food and weapons for an unforeseen doomsday event. One of James's friends says that he has so many guns in his house that no matter where James is located in the house, he can grab a gun whenever he wants. Soon, in 1983, he's involved in a motorcycle accident, leaving his right arm permanently twitching, forcing him to retire from welding. After this incident, however, his mental health truly spirals out of control. July 17th, 1984. James calls a medical health center in San Ysidro, however, never gets a call back, due to them misspelling his last name. The next morning, the family goes to the San Diego Zoo. Following this, they have lunch at a nearby McDonald's. Now once they arrive home, James shortly and quickly gathers numerous weapons from his cases. He later kisses his wife goodbye. However, she asks why he's leaving since she's preparing dinner, and he replies, "I'm going hunting. Hunting for humans." He then proceeds to drive to the nearest McDonald's, not the same one the family previously ate at, and at 3:56 p.m., James parks his car at the parking lot. He's acquired many military-grade weapons and an ammunition box. As he makes his way to the McDonald's, a witness actually spots James possessing multiple firearms and immediately calls the police. However, he gives them the wrong address by mistake. Suddenly, James bursts into the restaurant and forces everyone to get on the ground. He then heartlessly opens fire on the many customers in the McDonald's, injuring and killing nearly all the victims in only the first few minutes. However, James then takes his time, just brutally murdering each surviving customer individually. He then pulls out a radio, which then starts playing music, where he then proceeds to dance ferociously, all while drinking Coke and throwing fries at the victims. After 10 whole minutes, police finally locate the correct McDonald's and begin surrounding the area. Around 175 police officers are deployed in various strategic areas in order to contain the whole ordeal to just the restaurant. However, None of the officers actually enter the building due to the lack of information they have on the amount of shooters inside or know the scope of the whole situation. At 5:05 p.m., officers are finally commissioned to enter the premises and kill the shooter should they have a line of sight. 12 minutes later, James walks near the drive-thru window and a SWAT sniper, Charles Foster, has him in his sights. He then fires a single round, penetrating James's heart, killing him instantly. Sadly, the entire incident lasted for 77 minutes. Now in that time, James fired around 260 rounds of ammunition, resulting in the killing of 21 people and injuring 19 others. Many of his victims were Hispanic, ages ranging from 74 years to only 8 months old. Some victims were kids unattended by their parents, so officers took Polaroid pictures of their bodies and held them up in front of crowds of people. Now if the picture happens to be of your child, you'd immediately learn of the grisly news on the spot. But if you knew the child's parent, well then, they'd have to know of the news through a disheartening call. Now at the time, this was considered to be the deadliest mass shooting in American history. Sadly, however, there were multiple others since then which placed this one at the number 5 spot. However, an unusual span of events unfold after the disaster that makes this incident unforgettable. The founder of McDonald's, Ray Kroc, proceeds to donate $1 million to the families of the victims. However, the first person to receive the money was none other than Etna Huberty. Now this immediately caused many public uproars and protests. Now not only that, but in 1986, she had the nerve to sue McDonald's for $7.88 million. She had the audacity to say that the chemicals in the chicken nuggets were to blame for her husband's rampage. Obviously, she loses the case, and the San Isidro McDonald's is torn down, and is replaced with Southwestern Community College. On campus, the school has a memorial honoring each of the victims who passed away as a result of the massacre.
Like I said earlier, life is finite. It's not guaranteed that we'll be here tomorrow. It's no guarantee. So I live my life, or live your life as if it were the last, and make it count. Make each day count.